AJ is here, though. He's ready to go, and he, Typical, and First Killer are the 3 leading scorers in this tournament. NRG is going to have their hands full, Subi.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, Stacks, I was talking about it on the desk earlier. It's early on the West Coast for gamers, so they're not all up. And if they were, they would realize that FaZe Clan is shooting the lights out in the NASCAR Rocket League 351. All 3 members not only getting crazy amount of shots, but 1, 2, 3 for goals per game. This team is an offensive powerhouse.
This team is averaging 3.2 per game. Think about that number for a moment. You think, okay, yeah, sure, my team scores 3 goals and ranked all the time. No, at this level, that does not happen on a per-game basis. First Killer,
oh boy.
Big drive, saved away by Garrett G. What a read from a player who clearly is not at 100% today, but his focus was on point there.
Yeah, great save. Way to stay on the goal line as well as Justin tries to bring things in. And NRG definitely not in peak form today, as you brought up. Garrett G not feeling well. Everyone's brought it up. His First Killer goes far post, but Squishy able to get back to that. Tough save, but stands on that goal line. Is Justin gonna go for an air dribble there? Not much coming to fruition, and First Killer baits him out. Demo on the back line for Justin, and First Killer gets it underneath the defense. FaZe Clan first to strike.
Yeah, First Killer, obviously credited with the goal, but AJ, of course, going after Squishy too, kind of rushing his defensive effort, and FaZe Clan strikes first in game 1. Make that 28 in the tournament now for First Killer, and now he has the outright lead.
So scary what this team can do on offense when they're all popping off. And, you know, the first regional, we thought, okay, FaZe Clan doing okay, but looks like SSG is going to have the last laugh. But FaZe Clan came out, got their revenge today, and they're just looking better and better the longer that they play together. Is First Killer keeping this ball alive, and a double commit on the goal line for NRG. And I expect to see a lot of that. When you're not feeling well, it's tough to really get vocal and communicate with your teammates. As Garrett G going and trying to look for someone to demo, but finds no one and puts himself out of position, on that play. As NRG still yet to get too many shots on target, just 1 here in game number 1. And to be honest, Dax, I don't even remember it happening. I just remember him being stuck on defense this entire match.
Well, this comes right out to Typical. He'll drop it off in the direction of First Killer, but First was on his way back. That bump will open things up. First Killer will score yet again.
Oh, this is just picking your pocket 101. Justin thinks he's got daylight, but AJ comes from behind. That ball gets pushed forward right into First Killer, and no one home from NRG. They're just not expecting Justin to throw that interception there, as FaZe Clan go up 2 and looking very comfortable against the general NRG.
Squishy wins this one, and he had his flip to quickly get to the back wall and try to steal some boost out of the corner. Garrett G has that go out from Justin. And now Squishy shot. Oh, what a perfect snipe. Lower left. NRG back in it.
And you love to see this from NRG coming out of the kickoff and getting one immediately back to cut that deficit just down to 1. And you said it, Stacks. What shot placement there from the young gun, Squishy, I'm sorry.
Just at the halfway mark of game 1 in what's sure to be a marathon between NRG and FaZe Clan. Winner gets G2 in the grand finals. Garrett G on his way through, stopped by AJ. And now Squishy waiting. He'll take this ball, but not for very long. First Killer brings it right back in. NRG trying to keep pace with an electric assault. That is FaZe Clan. They've given this one away, though, and Squishy's waiting on the weak side. He'll at least deal some boost and be a factor for now. Garrett G. Drop down for Justin. Perfectly placed and forced through by Garrett.
What an infield pass coming out from NRG. Garrett G waiting just a little bit on that corner and decides to rifle it to Justin. And the defense, try as they might, couldn't keep that one off of the goal line. And Garrett G hammering it home. And just like that, tie ball game, but the kickoffs working well for FaZe Clan, and they get it right back.
And that goes as a hat trick for First Killer, and an even 30 goals on the tournament as he just bounces this one right through. Free ball off the kickoff, and all that work from NRG to make it a game again. Well, FaZe is pulled back in front.
And it just seems like NRG has to work so hard to garner any type of offense, and just seems to be coming so easily for FaZe. Is Justin waiting a little too long. The air squishy has to save the day and gives it right over to First Killer. I think Garrett G jumped up thinking he had more boost than he actually did.
All right, D-Rec, start doing the research for us. Like, how many goals in a game? How many goals in a series? First Killer's got 4, and we've only played 3.5 minutes. This is wild.
Absolutely wild, Stack. 6 shots also.
He might have another.
6. Oh, mama.
What a
Wish he
save.
has to get up quick. And Stacks, I think for NRG to be successful here, they're going to have to work on their transition game, because that's where they're going to find FaZe Clan lacking. The super aggressive offense is working well for FaZe, but they're pushing so far forward that they are leaving that back line just a little open. And if NRG can capitalize on those passing plays and turn it into an immediate shot, that's where they're going to find success in the goal department.
Typical waiting back, and he'll play this ball that's lazily played in. Oh, another demo, this time from First Killer, and his shot denied by Justin. Think about this. This has been a well-defended game, and it's 4-2. That's how great these two offenses are. Reciprocal steals this one, not on target on the double, and First Killer can't force that through either, but AJ's bringing another one in, and NRG finding absolutely no shelter from the storm.
Oh my goodness. 5 saves on the board for NRG and still down 2 goals. It's just no matter what they do on defense, FaZe Clan continue to find a wide open.
First Killer has 9 shots.
I saw that. That's insane. And I want to know what the record is for shots in a game. I'm sure he's not quite there, but
definitely
he's got to be getting close, right?
No, I think it's well into the double digits because of all these, 10, 15-minute overtimes that we've had, especially over the last couple of years. This ball will mercifully come down to the ground for NRG, and FaZe Clan easily takes game 1. Yeah, they let NRG back in it, and then First Killer happened again and again. 4-2.
What do you do against a player this good when he's feeling this good? Because honestly, I don't think any team has an answer for this kid right now. He is just incredible. Look at him baiting out the entire defense as we get the Mobile 1 high-performance replays. And NRG had flashes of brilliance, but that's all it was. And FaZe Clan, it just seemed like the entire game, from start to finish, it was all them.
That's why Sizz is the coach and I'm not. I don't have a plan for how to stop First Killer. I don't know. Demo him every chance you get. Just, like in basketball, you got one good player on a team. You just, play a junk defense or something and just go after him specifically.
It's tough.
Good luck, NRG. At least now it's 0-0, a new start as we go to Forbidden Temple. And now they get to mentally reset as they go up against, First and Friends, Part 2. Oh my goodness, AJ got this on target, but Justin's got an easy save. And that goes away from First Killer. That's a key, but again, sent right back once it came.
And those opportunities aren't going to come too often for NRG, and it's going to be tough, but the bump, and Justin still gets the touch. What a save on the back line, and NRG having a tough time getting a clear, but when that game opened up, we saw what could happen. They get a quick transition downfield, and they're going to have to capitalize on those, and I know how tough that is.
Just take a moment to appreciate the raw talent on the field right now between all 6 of these players. Even Garrett, playing sick, is still one of the best players in the world. Justin, back to Garrett. His shot right down the middle, swatted away emphatically by First Killer.
I love the idea there. Unfortunately, Garrett had started to push forward, thinking the rebound was going to come through because Squishy looked like he might shoot that, which I love that he's covering it up the play, looking like he's going to shoot, goes for a pass instead, but unfortunately Garrett G got slightly out of position there as Squishy comes off the ceiling, and First Killer reads that well, and Typical accidentally touches that. Chaos on FaZe Clan's side, but NRG had already rotated back to get boost.
D-Rec telling us, by the way, the North American record for single-player shots in a game, 13. So First Killer got close in regulation with 9. First Killer's got to get to this one, though, and Squishy had the read, so Typical has to jump back very quickly. AJ, another boom downfield. Not a lot of possession lately out of FaZe, at least in this game. Been more back and forth than NRG, not affording them the time and space they had in game one, especially not letting First Killer get going. He's back on the defensive line. This kicks out to Justin, and AJ plays it right back across. Sipical's there to beat Garrett G. Nobody's home. 1-0 FaZe.
What happened here? Where was the defense for NRG? Justin's up on the back wall. Squishy'd push forward, and Garrett G goes for the quick challenge. Sipical had him beat all day long, and you got to think if you're Garrett there, just go back, try and cover up that goal line. But tough spot for NRG. The offense was working so well, they got a little comfortable, and that's when FaZe Clan lulled them to sleep.
AJ, the better of the two here, as Sipical is waiting. His shot not quite on target. Justin's got the clear, though, so that forces First Killer all the way back to contend with Garrett G, which he does so. And now he can start spreading downfield. And he's got an angle here, but Squishy got the block. With Squishy's defense, it's so easy to ignore when he's got all the other tools that you need to play at this level. But his defense critical, and it's on display there, stopping Sipical. But First Killer bringing one back in. Sipical gets credit. It's 2-0.
It just doesn't end, Stacks. You just think, okay, the shots are going to stop, and First Killer, absolutely brilliant catch there to put it right back into the box and set up Sipical so he can hammer it home. FaZe Clan, 6 shots on the board already. They're just throwing punches and bunches.
And this is just an onslaught. NRG is just trying to survive. Justin, blocked by Sipical. First Killer's done it again!
You have got to be kidding me. They are just reading NRG like a book. Justin throws that one away right to Sipical, and of course, First Killer sitting there. Why not? And throws it right underneath the crossbar. I have not seen NRG get outplayed like this in a long, long time.
It does not happen to a team of this caliber. I believe still one of very, very few organizations in the history of Rocket League to never suffer a 7-1 defeat at any level. One may happen here. What a blistering shot from AJ. Better save out of Garrett G. He stops that one as well. And now Garrett past First Killer. And he has Squishy as an option. Justin comes in. The trailer will score. And with 90 seconds left, NRG has life.
You know, I think this demo actually hurt Sipical there. He smoke screens himself, and Justin comes through, launches that ball far post. Right idea to get the offense to try and slow down, but unfortunately worked against him as NRG get one. Still chasing a 2-goal lead here. Not impossible given the fact that Justin and crew are on the field, but this is going to be tough against this FaZe Clan.
Oh, they got an opportunity here. Squishy against AJ. Now Garrett G slows him down, but Sipical gets by Garrett on the wall, and he can bring this across the center line. Squishy got a block, but he paid the price for it. First Killer now, given time and space, and Garrett still meets them. Good block, this perilously close to the net, and AJ scores to make it a 3-goal game again.
I think this was all because of Sipical here off of the back wall. Comes up, goes up, and I think NRG thought maybe he's going for a back pass. Didn't realize AJ had a direct line on the shot, and FaZe Clan pretty much putting the nail in the coffin there. Is 3-goal lead pretty impossible to come back from with 1 minute to go. First Killer in the air, and Justin beats him and stacks. For me, I think NRG really needs to start thinking about being a demo-heavy defense, and Sipical tucks this one in. Upper 90, shot placement key here.
I mean, every time somebody scores at this point, the entire top right of the screen is just full. It's either a hat trick or a playmaker or something. This time a hat trick for Sipical.
Oh my.
3 from Sip, 1 from First Killer, 1 from AJ. And a 5-1 lead. 2 away from 7-1. Sipical loves one up for AJ, but he's gonna have to retreat. Garrett G's got this. to the backboard, and he intercepts Squishy, does AJ. So now First Killer trying to control through the air. Justin played it even further on, and First Killer scores his 6th of the series.
Uh-oh. Stacks, you know, you just love cursing things. And what were you saying?
It's that meta commentary, man.
NRG hasn't been Braziled ever, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about it. You know, it's almost like when a field goal kicker goes to kick a field goal and the commentator, oh, he hasn't missed one in 374 tries. And then you come out and just gotta ruin everything.
This has literally never happened before. And then the thing happens. Typical. Downfield for AJ. No time on the clock. Doesn't matter. Typical scores.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Dazarin hates you right now. He cannot stand you, and I know it. Stacks bringing out the curse, and FaZe Clan pulling out the Brazil. It's never been done to NRG, but FaZe Clan doing the unthinkable left and right, and Typical putting on a performance of a lifetime.
By the way, 14 shots. What was it? I think it was 13 in game 1. I think it was like 9, 2, and 2. I mean, these are just bonkers numbers right now out of FaZe Clan. And yet another FaZe Clan high-performance replay. Yeah, sure, there was the Justin goal. And then another FaZe goal, and another FaZe goal. This is unbelievable.
11 goals so far in this series.
Yep.
Only one has been unassisted, and it was that first goal in game 1 from First Killer. Other than that, FaZe Clan is an absolute dominant team. Nothing else can be said. What are you going to do to stop them? Because I don't have the answer. I know Stacks doesn't have the answer, and from what it's looking like, Sizz doesn't have the answer. So NRG has just got to go out there, and, you know, we heard Stumpy talking about the fun meta, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's time for it to come out. Let's see some crazy stuff come from NRG, because at this point, yes, you're down only 2-0 in a best-of-7 series, but it feels like they're down 9-0 in a best-of-1 series. I mean, it just seems like there is no shot that they're climbing their way back into this.
2 down and 2 to go for FaZe Clan to get to the grand finals and get another shot at G2. AJ will flick one up there. First Killer couldn't get to it. Justin can. Now Garrett G, shot on, forces AJ to make a save.
No, man, I really think NRG need to go for some demos, both sides of the field.
Yep.
Just turn ball cam off and just have one player designated to basically play spy. Okay, let's pick a name, because right now it's not just First Killer. It's all 3 members doing great things on offense. And last time it was Typical. Got that great hat trick, and AJ got the playmaker. I think Typical got a playmaker too. I mean, this is disgusting from FaZe Clan.
Back into the FaZe zone. So, you know, frame this part of the scoreboard right now. I believe this would be, well, no. It is not the first time that NRG is out shooting FaZe in this series, because they're even. One shot apiece.
I was going to say, how does that happen?
Looking for any victories at all at this point.
They've
kept them scoreless for the first 80
that?
seconds of game 3. That's the best I got for you. First Killer lobbing another downfield. NRG trying to stabilize against FaZe Clan and slow down this juggernaut offense that came in averaging over 3 a game, and that average only continues to climb.
Just pure filth out of the corner here, AJ. Bye-bye, Garrett, and Justin gets dunked on the goal line, pinching it in. Great placement from AJ, recognizing how the physics are going to work behind that ball.
First Killer wants more. Garrett G disrupts, but it falls right to Typical. I mean, nobody can do any right on the blue half of the field. It is just FaZe everywhere.
And nobody can do any wrong on the orange. This is a performance of a lifetime, and you saw a rare smile coming out from First Killer there. They are feeling good about this. Game 3, up 2 goals, and just looking like NRG have no signs of life right now.
Garrett lobs one on. AJ's got the clear and a second touch he had 5 boosts in the tank and still managed to manage his momentum to get there. And that first killer clears AJ out and just says, hey, go play defense for a change. He does, and he'll still bring this all the way across.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen first killer score. 21 seconds left in game 2, so he's due for one, right? As he comes through, gets the neutral 50 on the goal line, and Garrett G just has to go for a desperation touch there, as he does get a beautiful touch there, and NRG have numbers for a split second, but Squishy just going to launch that into AJ, and both sides all evened up now, and that's about all we've seen from NRG on offense, as Typical going to put a shot on target. Don't know where NRG was on defense, and Typical gets a second one here in game 3.
It's another open net for Typical. Not such a slow loner after all. 3-0 for FaZe Clan in game 3. So they're right around their average per game in the tournament, and they still have half a game to go. They've gone 4, 7, and now 3 and counting in this series. Squishy will try to collect, and Typical is right in his grill. Still has enough to actually go up for this, but first killer lobs it right back into the zone, and Justin will have to bring that to the corner. He doesn't have a lot of control here, as first killer will give way to AJ. Typical, another shot set away by Garrett G.
A lot of NRG's problems right now are just these touches getting away from them. The car control not too great. Squishy can't utilize that flip reset. Not sure if he actually got it. And Justin looking to pass that one mid, but NRG already rotated out. Nobody putting pressure on FaZe Clan, and they're just giving way too much time and space to all 3 members of FaZe Clan at the moment. First killer deleting Justin off of the field, and Squishy can't do anything with that. And it just seems like FaZe Clan not even respecting NRG on the offensive half right now.
Typical with AJ to his right. They both challenge. That leaves first killer all alone, and that still goes across at the center line, not deeper into the FaZe Clan zone. Down to a minute 13. Squishy knocked out of the air. Typical's got plenty in the tank, sizing up a double, and set away by Justin. Again, the NRG defense around the goal line has still been impeccable. It's just, that's how hard they have to work to limit FaZe to 3.
Yeah, it's 3-0, and Justin just got a savior medal. That just goes to show you how much offense FaZe Clan is pouring on right here. First killer by 2 into the corner, and Squishy gonna slow that one up. But big changes needed from NRG coming out of game 3. We did see the first ever North American reverse sweep yesterday, and Justin gets a feel-good goal here. 32 seconds remain, but it's going to take a lot more than just that, because you can't count on too many mistakes from FaZe Clan off the back wall like that. So you got to figure out what you're going to do to get your offense actually going.
There is more history brewing here. We will get to that in a moment. Justin playing that across. NRG needs to move downfield quickly to give themselves a shot at the end of game 3. Squishy runs out of juice in the tank, and Justin can't play it any further. First killer out of position though, and AJ plays that across. I've seen first killer do some pretty special things, but that would have been right at the top of the list if he scored from there, as this goes harmlessly to the corner. And finally, FaZe are held under their average goals per game by a fraction. It still goes 3-1. They're on quadruple match point to go to the grand finals.
My goodness.
Only 11 shots there, something.
It is something. They're starting to limit them, but FaZe Clan just a boulder rolling downhill right now, and unsure how you can stop them as we go to yet another FaZe Clan Mobile 1 high performance replay. I mean, it's all FaZe Clan all day long. But Stacks, we've got to talk about the importance of Garrett G to this general NRG roster. When he is not feeling good, we see what happens, and we see how important he is to this crew. I mean, his communication, his leadership, his on-ball play, and just everything that we know and love from him. When he's not feeling good, it's just like NRG is just done.
Yeah, and we've seen this from, the best competitors out there. You remember Squishy at Season 7 with Cloud9. He had, I believe it was some kind of infection that was affecting him. He was still out there. He did everything he could to get out there and compete. Garrett G doing the same. Clearly not at 100%, but rather than bring in the sub Musty, Garrett said, look, this is my team. I'm going out there to compete with the guys. So now they've got to find a way on Utopia to bring it back. We've seen it once. Who knows? We go to Utopia Coliseum for Game 4. Must win for NRG to stay alive.
Oh, no way. Okay, Squishy gets the pinch off of him, and
there's AJ.
Clean-up crew to just ski-ball that one in from midfield. Just too many going for NRG on that back line and miscommunication. And that's kind of what we've been talking about all day, Stacks.
By losing Game 3 there, by the way, NRG has tied its organization record for the longest losing streak in individual games. 7 in a row.
And that's insane to think of. How good
think about
this
how long
team
that
is.
org's been around.
Exactly, and how consistent they are. I mean, always are. So, I mean, you got to know that this is just a fluke. This is surely not the start to their demise by any means, but it's just a bad day at the office, and it happens. And unfortunately, it's on Championship Sunday, but Squishy coming out of nowhere and Typical had no clue he was on the backside.
Wow. Squishy gets a big one for NRG. Back level in the first minute of Game 4. Looking for any victories they can get along the way. First killer. Looking to get that goal right back. He skied one up there for Typical. Another demo, though, by First takes out Garrett G, and that forces Squishy to put on the brakes at the center line. Now Squishy playing his way through, determined not to let NRG exit in the lower finals here. Third place not good enough, but first killer! Oh, what a save again by Squishy!
Squishy trying to will this NRG team to victory. Great save on the goal line there as he pushes this ball forward and trying to get some style of offense going. But again, AJ breaking up the play, and right now, NRG just way too spaced out, giving FaZe Clan way too much time to get things operated, and the clears just coming so easily for them.
Justin does not opt for that corner boost. AJ will take it, going after Squishy, and Squishy had to be very proactive on the defensive end, as he has just about always been. He's starting to move downfield here so Garrett G can feed him. And he won't have enough to follow the play up as Justin has to get there at the center line. Now Garrett G right down the middle. Squishy tried to get in the way as well, and still well defended by FaZe, or well enough anyways. But now NRG playing with just a little bit of extra energy. Squishy. Shot blocked away. Justin's got this though at the center line, and he'll play that right back in. Typical trying to bring this down to ground safely, and it certainly helps that Squishy no longer on the field, but he respawns in and then takes out Justin. The timing not there.
Oh, that's not good at all. Oh, and you leave Justin alone on the back line, and Squishy recognizing that pass coming through. Great positioning, and AJ puts that one down, and Justin firmly planted on the goal line, and NRG starting to scramble here. Getting low on boost, shots coming through, and Garrett G, much needed clear downfield. Let's see if they can reset.
Typical pop-up, AJ is there as well. That double commit forces first killer to the back wall. Justin's got a lot of time to work with, and his shot off the post, and Garrett couldn't react.
Oh, you hate when the shot goes off like that and then comes directly back center. So hard to read as a player coming downfield, and first killer gets the demo on Squishy midair, and Justin, a little bit of time, a little bit of space, passed over to Garrett and turned away by Typical. FaZe Clan undenied on defense. Absolutely incredible.
Well, NRG has stabilized in this series. They have slowed down FaZe. Now they need to find a way to beat them. This drops right down for Typical. He's got first killer over there as well. Justin just pops that away, out of harm's way. Squishy now. After play this, Typical is out of the play for a moment. He spawns on the near side, though, and still becomes a factor. This is dropped down to Justin, and first killer coming in from behind. makes the stop. Back downfield goes FaZe. Typical for the lead again. Denied by who else but Squishy. Now Squishy downfield. He's only got AJ to beat. And AJ the better of the two this time.
Yeah, we've seen a few times now where Squishy's let that ball get away from him. Justin can't get that one over the defense. Not sure if he was going for just a normal flick or a musty as Squishy puts it up. Looking to go off backboard, easily defended by First Killer. This is going to be a tough one, and Squishy can't put it in. Pinches it off of the crossbar. Great opportunity, and he pulled the trigger just a little too early.
Squishy's back on the ball here as Typical dispossesses him, but there is Garrett G. Imagine what it would do for the psyche of NRG if Garrett G can make a big play right now. Not this time, though. First Killer's through, and Garrett's got to get back to the back wall. That goes right out to Typical, as so many of these clears have, in fact, in the series. And now Squishy will leave that for Garrett G. 20 to go.
What a flick!
For the win, perhaps. Garrett G gives NRG the lead.
Oh, monster flick from midfield. Gets First Killer, baits him out, and caught in no man's land. Stacks, you said it. What is it going to do to this team if Garrett G scores? All NRG fans gripping their chairs and finally have a lead.
AJ has other plans, and Justin makes the save on the near side. Squishy around First Killer. They have not let First Killer get a ton of touches in this game, and it has made a significant difference as that back pass goes to Justin, and FaZe has to go from three-quarter court, and First Killer just does keep this up. Garrett G will spike it down. No, Typical still got there. So now they'll try again. It's amazing how good these players at this level have gotten at keeping the ball up in the air, and it finally goes down off the crossbar. NRG survives to see Wasteland.
NRG fans, big proverbial sigh after that one. Not going to allow that record to happen, as they did tie that losing streak, but finally get a win here.
Yeah, they didn't break the streak. NRG fans, you're welcome. All right?
Yeah, good job.
All this stuff, this has never happened. It didn't happen. You're good.
Yeah, you only did it once today. That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll forgive you for that.
There's still time.
Yeah, but
I mean, we may still have 3 more games, Subi.
Possibly. It is possible, but you know, great job there from NRG to really limit the offense that we saw from FaZe Clan. And when I say limit, only allowing 10 shots. But the good thing for NRG is they got 11 of their own. So out shooting FaZe Clan here, and that's the key to success. You've got to be able to keep FaZe Clan on defense just a little bit. You can't allow them to play 4.5 minutes of straight offense. And that's what we saw here. NRG doing a good job. But again, I want to see some demos. I want to see if NRG can capitalize on a man advantage on the field. I think it's going to work well in their favor.
This is interesting for NRG defensively. The number of shots that they have faced game by game. It spiked up to 14 in game 2. It's gone down since then. 11, then 10. And when they needed it most, to get a goal out of Garrett G, his second, to get a game in this lower bracket final. They need 3 more. They're up against, again, still a monster of an offense, but they quieted that offense, holding FaZe just to the single goal. The defense has gotten better over time since that 7-1 defeat. Now we go into Wasteland. Game 5. Still must win for the general NRG. But the prospects are looking a lot brighter than they were about 5 minutes ago. Typical shot saved away by Justin. The demo on Squishy, inconsequential. He's already back at the play and throwing one right down the middle at First Killer.
Keep those ones coming, because that's just keeping FaZe Clan honest. And, you know, they're going to start thinking, okay, they're going for those long launches downfield, and we've got to have someone covering up the back line. So they're going to be spaced out a little more, and you're not going to have that third man coming in as aggressively for that follow-up shot as First Killer. Garrett G gets the save off the post, and AJ turned away again by Garrett G and Justin. And NRG holding down the goal line brilliantly on that play.
Justin got this to the back wall. First Killer just loops up to the backboard to play this away. And Squishy's got it right over towards Justin, who's got a full tank of boost. And he's deadly in this spot. He'll leave it for Garrett G, the captain, coming through, and it's saved by AJ.
I don't know how AJ got that save. That was ridiculous. NRG starting to come out with the team plays, and you gotta think, have they started to figure out what FaZe Clan is bringing? And my goodness, the demo comes out and it leads to a direct goal. NRG up by 1.
Squishy gets the demo, and Garrett G thought about catching this to turn on it. AJ must have thought he was absolutely going to. Justin calls him off. 3:43 to go, and NRG in front in game 5. Buckle up, Subi. Here we go.
I told you, demos can make some fun things happen. And the first one we see from NRG immediately leading to a goal is the tides are starting to turn in NRG's favor. FaZe Clan, only 1 goal in that game number 4. Still have yet to score in game 5. Yes, it is early, but we're used to seeing them up by 3 goals at this point.
AJ, stuffed by Squishy, as typical as to run back. And that goes over top of Squishy. Will bounce right out to midfield. Garrett G
baby.
For Justin, and swatted away by AJ. Squishy's there, though. Can he climb up? Yes, he can! And Justin stuffs it home!
What a dunk from Squishy! Oh, reads him like a book. Look at that, mama. And gets the double. Just the continuation on that play. A thing of brilliance. And Justin hammering it home. NRG up by 2. But we know how FaZe Clan can score, so you can't get too comfortable if you're NRG.
Are you saying the general NRG could use some insurance goals?
I hate you.
James, Daz, you're welcome. This drops down to the corner for Squishy, but AJ's got control, so Squishy has to go back, and now he'll play.
Uh-oh,
one
that's
down
not good.
towards Justin, and AJ just got in Garrett G's way to at least give FaZe a chance on offense. First killer trying to do it himself here, and Justin cuts him out there. By NRG, not letting FaZe get shot after shot, not letting them get set up in the offensive zone. We've still seen some very difficult shots saved away by FaZe, or rather by NRG. His first killer lobs one out there for AJ. But the important difference, Subi, of course, from the first few games, nothing's leaking through into that NRG net. And a lot more confidence now than there was at the end of game 3. They didn't use their timeout when they went down 0-3.
I like that. That's confidence. And we know that usually NRG not going to use timeouts in this situation, but we've seen it a little bit. But that just shows to me that, okay, no, we've got this. We know what we're doing wrong. We're making dumb mistakes. And, you know, I bet you Sizz is seeing the same exact thing as well. Like, okay, guys, you know what you're doing wrong, as Squishy turned away by first killer, and this is going to be a dangerous one. Garrett G has to get back and avoid first killer at the same time, as NRG looking to get a little bit of offense started as well.
See FaZe Clan trying to pick up the pace and just overwhelm NRG, and it's not happening. Garrett G has returned to form. Made a couple great cuts, some excellent passes as the series has gone on, but he had it taken away there by AJ. Typical. Indirect for himself. He's got first killer in front, and the ball is deflected away. Follow-up shot from AJ. Nothing there. This goes across AJ again, over to Typical. Passing play out of FaZe, still results in a wide shot. Typical can't bring this on target, and now FaZe starting to slip just a little bit. Typical did all he could to keep it available, and still cleared away by NRG. The general standing strong and holding FaZe scoreless into the last minute.
Yeah, that was about 1 or 2 passes too many. What a ground pinch from first killer, getting the power on it and bringing FaZe Clan back within 1.
Garrett G jumped so early for this, and first killer goes right underneath. Wow.
The fact that he turns that flick into a ground pinch, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. He put so much power behind that ball.
Well, it could still all be for naught, as FaZe still trails by a goal here in game 5. Another closeout opportunity against NRG about to go by the wayside, as Justin needs one more touch to send this downfield. On target, AJ saved it away. Squishy, though, delays some more. No time on the clock, Garrett G can spike it. He does. And NRG survives again.
Holy smokes. NRG keeping it close. Both victories coming in 2-1 fashion. And look at that scoreboard. All three members of NRG getting 3 shots apiece. Justin sitting on top with 2 goals, Squishy an assist, and all 3 members also with a save as we go to the Mobile One high performance replays. And that first goal, so crucial to just make a statement. And then Squishy with that read. That was such a beautiful continuation, Stacks.
Well, are you ready for Game 6, Zuby?
Yep.
All right. You know who's ready? You know who else is ready for Game 6? Other than just about everybody in the lobby.
Yeah.
Almost everybody in the lobby.
Whoops.
No, NRG is ready for Game 6. G2 fans have been talking about this for, I think, all weekend. NRG is 9-1 this season in Game 6s. Thank you, D-Rec, for that stat as well, by the way. 9-1.
And they've won the last 8. So history not favoring FaZe Clan here. And Stacks, I got to ask you, in your big old brain of yours, which I know it can't hold too much.
There's a lot of empty space up there, but go ahead.
A lot of cobwebs. But in your opinion, have we ever seen a team as good as NRG at reading an opponent and making changes mid-series to counter them?
Maybe Team BDS. We've seen them fall behind in a lot of series, going back to RLCS, and they would kind of turn things around, but certainly not in North America. Not in this realm. This is NRG's yard, and everybody else is just kind of spending time here. Typical will play this out, and Squishy's just right there waiting. Nobody has used their timeout in this series. You have to imagine NRG won't. FaZe might if they drop this game, and Justin scored first again.
I love how Garrett is not showing his hand, that he's not passing this ball. Looks like a shot, and then puts it top of the box. All 3 members of FaZe Clan just sitting there, jaws hitting the floor when that shot gets put on target. Beautiful team play coming out from NRG.
Turbo's got Champions Field. More of a myth, but okay. NRG has Neo Tokyo.
Oh boy.
Squishy off the post. Garrett G follows. NRG's up 2.
It's the over-aggression from FaZe Clan, and great clear downfield from the general of General NRG. Garrett gets that ball up to Squishy. Squishy misses it, and we're seeing a smile on Garrett's face there. That's good to see. Hopefully he's feeling a little better here, and that's got to do something for him.
AJ out of boost, doing everything he possibly could, which was not a whole lot with that ball. Justin now. He's got an option over on the weak side, and AJ can just pop that ball away. But not a lot of forward motion out of FaZe. They finally get towards the back line, and Garrett G will collect. Typical, caught spectating as he's demolished.
Love it.
And Garrett G will wait back as Squishy tries to create by himself.
You got a big old barrel and a bunch of holes leaking water on that, and you just plug one up by taking Typical off the field. That offense slowed immediately, and that's what I think, in my opinion, NRG needs to continue to do. Defensive demos. Don't allow FaZe Clan to just continue their offense. Force them to beat you 2v3. And we know it's possible, Stacks, but better odds for you.
Right. Well, they are also forcing FaZe to play up in the air, but now Justin brings us down to ground. And AJ clears away, credited with a save. Now first killer. Watches Squishy just play that right around him. Typical, though, still has first killer downfield. He can play this ball out of the side. First killer trying to get Squishy rotating on the weak side, and then Typical gets bumped back into that ball, and harmlessly across it goes off of Justin. Garrett will lob one towards the backboard and cleared away by first killer. The creativity there. Even off the ball, you have to have your head on a swivel. Both teams certainly do. Justin and Garrett both had to jump for this. Now AJ trying to dance around Squishy, having absolutely none of it. 3-zip.
Squishy pulls out the binoculars here, sees, oh, look at that. That net way down there is wide open, and I'm just gonna poke it. 3-0 lead for NRG. FaZe Clan, they opened up as hot as we have ever seen, but in the last 3 games, only 2 goals for FaZe Clan. Absolutely incredible turnaround for the general NRG.
Squishy over top of Sypical, but it's first killer now. 1-on-1, usually no contest, but Justin made the save. Squishy comes in to help as well, and AJ may have tried to slow play there, and Squishy just got right around him.
You know, I realize points don't matter too much in Rocket League. Kind of like whose line is it anyway? They're just kind of like made up, and I don't even know how you get them. But
that's what I keep telling myself in ranked.
Yeah. I mean, there is some truth and validity behind it, but right now, Sypical sitting on 42 points. And I hate that when that happens. He just cannot find his way, but oh, what a save from first killer. NRG
gets the points there.
Hitting some strides right now on offense.
Sypical with that last save, getting near the century mark on the in-game scoreboard. Sypical trying to get an assist out of this here to set up first killer. Not happening. This is just lobbed up. It's a jump ball. AJ down to first killer, who had been electric early in this series and has gone ice cold since.
AJ.
First killer, create himself. No, AJ has that drop down to him, but nobody's in position to make a play on the ball.
And again, clear all the way downfield. Tick-tock goes the clock. Sypical takes out a defender. First killer can't get the touch, and AJ a little too high, but Sypical there for the cleanup, and FaZe Clan have some life breathed back into him here in game number 6.
It's an extra 2, maybe 3 seconds, though, that goes off the clock on the initial miss by AJ. Keep that in mind. 38 to go as FaZe tries to break NRG's hearts.
Great kickoff.
It is. AJ shot. Oh, no, first killer couldn't score. Oh, he'll be wanting that one back. More time burning away as Justin clears down to 23 seconds. Squishy plays this out. AJ's waiting. He couldn't get that midfield boost.
Great read.
Garrett G intercepts.
Oh, he's seen it all before. He knew exactly what was getting pulled out and says, you want some offense? Get back on defense, young buck, as NRG, for the 4th time ever, setting up a best-of-7 reverse sweep for North America. Is history about to be made yet again?
There have been 3 reverse sweeps in best-of-7s in the last 8 days. 1 in Sub-Saharan Africa, 1 in APAC South, 1 yesterday as Space Station came back against Oxygen, and the general NRG marches into Champions Field, and FaZe couldn't take a timeout fast enough.
Oh, that game, I mean, immediately as that game ended, first killer, timeout, timeout. They need some time to think about what's been going on because, like we were talking about, Sax, opened up the game as best you possibly can. What was it? 14 goals to NRG's 4 in the first 3. And since then, they've only had 3 goals. So a lot of talking to be done on the side of FaZe Clan.
There is a lot to talk about. As you see,
or listen,
first killer just kind of trying to block out the last 15 minutes of gameplay, perhaps from his mind. And you don't see a whole lot of talking going on there. A lot of listening as these guys try to figure it all out. Sizz, I'm sure, is absolutely hyping them up. So we go now into game 7.
Oh, mama.
With, again, just a wild turn of events. Space Station Gaming did it yesterday to get into Championship Sunday. And now, FaZe Clan has to try and stop what has become a locomotive coming down the tracks. Can they slow down NRG? That was the question we asked in Inverse at the start of this series. Could NRG slow down FaZe Clan, who came in averaging 3 goals a game, scored 11 in the first 2, including a 7-1 beatdown in game 2. And now we have to ask AJ, First Killer, and Sypical to stop NRG, which has been unstoppable in the last 15 minutes.
Oh, this is just brilliant. This is one for the ages for NRG if they can pull this one out. So much work put into this comeback, and it all comes down to Champions Field. This is going to be so much fun, and honestly, you could just sit there and in your brain just hit the dump valve. What happened in the first 6 games at this point doesn't even matter. It all comes down to this. Game 7, Champions Field, presented by NASCAR.
All right. We all got business to attend to here. NRG and FaZe. Champions Field. Here we go. Winner gets G2 in the grand finals. And Squishy trying to score first. Denied by FaZe Clan early, but Garrett will not be denied. 8 seconds in. The captain, Garrett G, coming into his own. And NRG keeps the momentum rolling. Can you believe this? What does FaZe have as an answer? A ball right back to Garrett G. Not quite the answer anybody was looking for, as Garrett wins this. It is a different Garrett G that has evolved mid-series. Typical lining up a double. Squishy disrupts. And FaZe Clan has all the momentum going against them. They call the timeout to try and get some extra time to talk about it and maybe throw NRG off their game just a little bit.
Oh,
and it has had absolutely no effect. Here goes First Killer. Trying to right the ship for FaZe Clan.
Oh.
And Typical got there as well, but played it across.
Oh. If you're FaZe, you want a goal. I mean, you want it right now. You want to tie this thing up. You want to make a statement. And it's not going to be done just yet, as Garrett G couldn't quite find the mark there. Great demo from Squishy to slow things up, as Typical going to push forward as AJ available. And AJ just a little too high, and crossbar denies.
High up, not angling downward, but it comes down for First Killer. Typical is ahead, and Garrett G jumped in front. AJ shot. Sends Squishy and Garrett crisscrossing, and then First Killer, oh, what a save by Garrett! Off the recovery, and Typical hit the crossbar! Oh, it's all coming apart again!
No. Oh no! You hate to see it, and Squishy just can't quite get that 50 on target, but FaZe Clan fans, remember that shot from Typical? I mean, it was wide open. He could have put that anywhere on target, and it was going in, and pushes it high. And NRG still up by 1. We're getting near halftime, and NRG pushing further and further into this orange half.
A rare miss out of First Killer, and that'll send Typical across. And Justin, full tank of boost. He may even be able to get to steal some. No, AJ will fall on it. Now Squishy. Denied by Typical. It does not start much of a counterattack for FaZe. First Killer will try. Typical's there, but he peeled off. So now AJ a little floaters wide, and Justin plays this across.
Perfect.
Where Typical's gonna have to turn on it. But hit him where they ain't. That was perfect placement.
Perfect clear.
Typical.
Couldn't quite ask for a better one there, as just past halftime. First Killer coming through, getting into the box, and Garrett G denies. Typical gonna softly tap that one in, and FaZe Clan bring us all knotted up in game number 7.
Count them now. That is 8 goals in the series for Typical. He's had a few that have gotten away, but he has, I believe, taken the series lead. Took it away from First Killer, was tied with him at 7. First now playing this across, needs a second touch. How about the job NRG has done, though, against First Killer? They have neutralized him after he had almost single-handedly destroyed NRG in the first 3 games. AJ over top of Garrett G. Squishy is there for the stop. And a good half flip to get in position, but now it's back to First Killer. Stuffed by Justin. And Squishy will give chase against Typical. He'll settle for a full tank of boost. And he may be able to use some of it in just a moment as AJ plays this right down the middle. And Justin skies it up for Squishy to play further. Squishy down to Garrett G.
Great pass.
A bullet
Oh, mama.
posted in. NRG back in front.
Oh, and you could even see it coming. You knew what Squishy was doing here, but the shot from Garrett G, just too good, going far post and in 58 miles per hour. General NRG putting themselves back on top.
I think if NRG gets one more goal here, we might, and we can see, by the way, we might see Dazarin jump through his ceiling. Justin for Garrett G. Not this time, as it goes out around the corner, and Sypical has first killer waiting. First will take over now as he goes over top of Squishy, and Garrett G intercepts right back into enemy territory. AJ now for first killer. Justin in the way again. Justin at midfield and deeper into the zone. His defense has been impeccable. And Typical beat Garrett
Squishy.
here. He can, but Squishy makes the save. Follow up now. AJ to tie the game, and Justin saved it.
Oh, you couldn't ask for a better shot coming out from AJ, going far upper 90, and somehow Squishy, his defense, still on point in this series, and he has just been the anchor for NRG on that back line.
Justin trying to stay up off the wall, and he can't. Typical now around the corner, drop down, and Squishy clears only as far as AJ. Can he stay with this play? He certainly can. And first killer kept it available as well. They've got lead blockers, and Justin still popped it away. Down to 14 seconds.
Great cut from Justin.
Yes. Here's AJ for first killer. Waiting, can't get it to him. Typical coming up. First killer got a piece of this. 2 seconds left. North America went 173 series without a best-of-7 reverse sweep. And when this ball touches down, we'll have done it twice in 4. First killer trying to save it. And he has.
He got the flick.
Typical on the goal line. NRG survives.
I'm literally shaking. You gotta be kidding me. It was on the goal line, half the ball in the back of the net. But still, NRG hold on and pull off the unthinkable. The reverse
team that came in shooting 30%, that had its accuracy betray them in the last 2 games. And it betrays them at the worst possible time. Shots off the crossbar, off the post, and then at the absolute last second to get to overtime. And it's this much of the ball still ahead of the line as the ball touches the ground. NRG, when nobody gave them any hope when that series was 0-3, come all the way back. We get our second best-of-7 reverse sweep in 2 days. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you've been a part of history yesterday and today.
Yeah,
you cursed them earlier, but you brought them back.
So now all the Oxygen fans hate me. All the FaZe fans hate me. We just throw this away. Guess what?
You got to start comparing this to...
Here it is. NRG in the grand finals. They got G2.
You got to start thinking Jordan flu game.
Oh,
Garrett G,
my goodness.
Garrett G prosciutto game. Huh?
Well, he's still got more games to go. We hope you'll join us for the grand finals, and there is still one really big announcement to come as well. Our grand finals, NRG and G2, coming up after the break.